Good morning, class, and happy Monday. This week you're going to be learning about cladograms, and I have a couple videos that I want you to watch, and then this week consists of 4 worksheets. Each of them is worth 10 points, and some of them are going to take you just a few minutes. Some of them might take you a little bit longer, but always remember I'm available via email, and you can always ask questions. So before I go over the cladogram on page 3, which it looks like this of your homework, which may be why you're getting on here right now, I just want to go over a couple things about cladograms. So first of all, what it is a diagram that shows the change in animals over time. So it's an evolutionary change. So when new characteristics arrive in the fossil record, that shows that an animal has evolved. And so a cladogram kind of is showing the different ways that animals evolved over time. And as you add characteristics on a cladogram, if an animal that you have that you're trying to branch off doesn't have that characteristic, then you have to branch it off. Okay, nothing can go, it can't go above a characteristic if it doesn't have it, and I'll explain that a little bit better. And usually you'll see that the most ancient animals are at the bottom of the cladogram. You put them off the first because they have the least amount of characteristics. And then lastly, the closer that the animals are to each other on the cladogram, it means that they're more closely related. Okay, so let me start off by first showing you, there are directions up here at the top of this assignment. So I want you to draw a cladogram here. And you're going to start by adding up how many animals, so the animals are on the top, right? How many animals have that characteristic? Okay, so you're just looking how many X's are there. All right, so starting with lungs, we have 3, right? The antelope, the bald eagle, and the alligator. So I'm going to write 3 here. And then just go through and do that for all of them. So for jaws, there's 4 of them. Feathers, there's 1. Notochord, there's 5. Gizzard, there's 2. And hair, there's 1. Okay, so doing this helps you figure out what characteristic do all of the animals have. Okay, so we have 5 animals that we're trying to put on our cladogram, and one of the characteristics they all share in common. Okay, so the one that has the highest number, so that is going to be number 5. So a notochord is like it's like a spinal cord. So 5 animals on this chart have a notochord. So how we do this is we write that at the bottom. Okay, notochord. So characteristics go below the line. So this is my line here. The characteristics go below the line, and then we're going to branch the animals up above the line. Okay, so if notochord is the most common characteristic up here, what is the next most common characteristic? So which one of these characteristics do most of them have, but -1? And you're going to see that that's jaws. So we're going to write jaws on here as our next characteristic. Okay, there is one animal up here that has a notochord but has no jaws. So we have to branch them off in between these 2 characteristics. So which animal up here, the lamprey, the antelope, the bald eagle, alligator, or sea bass, has a notochord but nothing else? And you should notice that it is the lamprey. So a lamprey is like a snake-like creature that lives in the lake. It's kind of creepy looking. We were gonna dissect one if we were all together, and you would see that they're like bloodsuckers. They have a mouth with teeth in it, but they don't have jaws. So how we branch off the lamprey is we put a line going in between notochord and jaws, and we write the lamprey's name. Okay, lamprey's out. He doesn't have jaws, so we can't put him above jaws. Otherwise, it would show that he has them. Okay, but he has a notochord and no jaws. So how I like to do this is, what is the next most common characteristic up here? So we've done the one that has 5. We've done the one that has 4. So now we're on to the one that has 3, and that's lungs. So lungs is going to be our next characteristic. All right, one of these animals has a notochord and jaws, but no lungs. So you got to look so we're done with lamprey, right? This is another thing I like to do, is I like to cross off. If I'm done with an animal, I'm just going to make sure that I know I don't have to worry about him anymore. So which animal has a notochord and jaws, but no lungs? And if you look through here, you're going to see the sea bass, which is a type of fish, right? Fish have gills, they don't have lungs. So we have to branch the sea bass off in between jaws and lungs. And then I like to cross out that I'm done with lungs and I'm done with my sea bass. Okay, so I've done 3 of the characteristics up here, and I've taken care of 2 of the animals. So just like before, what's the next thing we would do? We've already done the 5, 4, 3, so we're on to number 2, the gizzard. So that's our next characteristic. So one of these animals has a notochord, jaws, lungs, but no gizzard. So in looking at what we have left, we have an alligator, a bald eagle, and an antelope. Does one of them not have a gizzard? And you should see that our antelope does not have a gizzard right here. Okay, yes, he has hair, but he's the only one that has hair. So we're not going to worry too much about this hair right now. We are going to get rid of the antelope right here. And if we want, we can add this hair to his line only. Let me show you how you do that. So here's our antelope. Okay, and we can do this and say that he's the only one with hair, okay? Because the 2 animals we have left are alligator and bald eagle, and neither one of them has hair. So we can just get rid of that. So our antelope is gone, our hair is gone, and our gizzard is gone. So the last thing we have left on our list here is feathers. So if we write feathers up here, we have bald eagle and alligator left. So bald eagle has feathers. He has a gizzard, so he's going to be up here at the top. Who has to branch off between gizzard and feathers? That would be our alligator. So I like to write the last animal at the very top of the line like this versus having a branch here and then having this sticking out with nothing at the end. So if you look at this cladogram, you could tell a couple things. One is that the lamprey is a very ancient animal. It doesn't have any of these characteristics that developed later. And as you move up, animals become more and more complex. And you can see that things like lungs were a later characteristic that showed up. And if I asked you who is more closely related, bald eagle and alligator or bald eagle and sea bass, you can see that the alligator is more closely related to the eagle. It shares more things in common with each other. The bald eagle only shares a notochord and jaws with the sea bass. but it shares notochord, jaws, lungs, and a gizzard with an alligator. So they're more closely related because they have more things in common. All right, I hope that this helped you with at least this cladogram and how to answer some of the questions. Please note, if you're gonna email me about any of the worksheets, just let me know which worksheet you're working on. So they're numbered 1 through 4. So if you have a question like can you help me with number 4 on worksheet number 3? I can do it a lot easier if I know which one you're on. Okay, hope you guys have a good week and hope you're all staying healthy and safe. And I will look forward to seeing your discussion answers about grades, and I might be getting back to you this week more about grades. Okay,